What you're about to see was supposed to be a Thiago Motta beautiful inspired 4-3-3 Bologna style tactic. But what we got was this. Now seeing that, obviously that tweet went kind of viral and people couldn't really get their heads around it. There's a combination of what the hell you're doing and give me that tactic right now. So I had a think. I threw the download onto my Patreon so they could have a look and a test. So today we'll go through it. We'll go through the Thiago Motta inspired double Libero, double inverted fullback, double Carolero, double false nine. It's a wreck, but it's beautiful. Yes, folks, welcome in. Possibly my favourite tactic this year. It makes no sense on the face of it, but have a look at it in match, and it is the best possession tactic I've done this year. It just dominates. Can I show you before we get into it? I know you want the tactic to grab it, but look at the state of the playmaking goalkeeper that we've finally got. I'll just scroll down my Twitter here. I'm sorry it's in light mode. I've no idea why it's in light mode. Now, here is the image. This is my goalkeeper pass map. Look where he's getting the ball. Look where he's receiving the ball. More importantly, look where he's dishing it out. He's literally playing halfway up the pitch. So initially what I was trying to do was the Motta inspired 4-3-3. That's the Libero highlighted. You can see where they get up the pitch. So we've got that nailed. But the truth be told, every time I tried to do this with a 4-3-3, although solid, the results weren't as spectacular as I wanted. So I started with a classic 4-3-3, inverted fullbacks, Liberos getting forward. I changed it to a halfback to help out the defence because we're getting butchered too much. 2-7-2 basically means you have two people out wide down here, 7 in the middle, including your goalkeeper, acts as an outfield player if you like, 2 on the other side. The shape was there, but the results were not there.
Three days later.
So I gave up on it, but stubbornly I wanted to use the philosophy as double Liberos because you rarely see it, probably because it's absolute carnage. So I kept the inverted fullbacks to tuck in, and then high up the pitch, for some reason I did this. This was version 1. Double Mazzala, I thought they'll be able to get in them gaps there. And double false nines. Now both false nines has stay wider on to help out wide. And a big question was, where does the width come from? You get loads from the Mazzalas and the false nines. Because they see there's nobody down here, they kind of wander in there naturally, and they did a load of work down there. Now this is version 1. This is the far more aggressive version, double Mazzalas, but it did lead to some mad results, and I knew it had legs when I saw the first result. 2-2 against probably the best team in the league, but look at the match stats. Porto literally scored from both the shots they had, while we had 25. Now, I put this on in the background while I was doing something in the room. I think I was messing around with my wrestling figures, so I didn't really take notice. I put it on hold there for a bit longer, and then I came back, and then this happened. They went absolutely balmy and scored 10 times in a league match, and we won the match 10-0. Now, the team we're playing against isn't one of the best ones, but to win 10-0, I'm like, hang on a minute. So then we went on an absolute tear. You can see that down there. There's absolutely battering teams, including beating teams like Benfica, Atalanta, just smashing teams up. If I just choose a random one like the Benfica game, 72% possession on that one against Benfica with that sort of formation. Your Libero inverted fullback, sweeper keeper combo just dominates the football. Here's the match that got everyone's attention. Sporting 10, FC Porto 4 in the League Cup semi, and Porto did have their strongest team out. Just a balmy game. It was 3-1 at half time and it just went off. So that's version 1, super attacking, double Mazzala. By the way, that isn't the starting 11, that's just the quick pick. But I thought, how can I make this a bit more solid? And that's how we came up with version 2. There she is, double Carolero instead of the Mazzala, so they will in effect still go wide, but stay a bit deeper. So when you use this tactic now, you'll see this is it in full flow. Di Ketelaere there is the false 9, and look how wide he is. So there's one of your points of width. Gives it back to the inverted fullback. Now, that is a common move. Look where the goalkeeper is. He starts off so many moves, basically playing as a sweeper there. Starting it off, finding the other inverted fullback. The two centre-backs now are solidly in midfield, forming a midfield 3 with the Regista. Back to that goalkeeper again, starting moves off. This is the sort of possession football you're going to have. So if you're looking for full throttle Jurgen Klopp style football, this isn't it. But if you love possession based football and grinding teams down, there's a centre back there, false 9, and there's the other false 9, Lookman, and that's all came from using the goalkeeper and playing out from the back. So here is version 2 that I'm currently using with Atalanta, double Carolero, and it's working really well. What I will say is we're not scoring anywhere near the amount of goals that we did with Sporting. If we go to Serie A, you can see we're third. We've only lost the 2 games to Roma and Sassuolo, but we've only scored 35 times in 21 matches. However, we are top of the possession by a country mile, 67%. So, back to the tactics screen, I would suggest that a combination of both tactics, depending on what game you're playing, could be the way to go. If you're more confident, go for goals with the double Mazzala option, and if you're not as confident, drop back to this one. And don't forget, all these tactics for direct download are already in Patreon, but if you just want to copy the tactic, there it is, and the player instructions will be at the end of the video. Right, I'm just going to show you a bit of footage in match so you can see a bit of movement. There's the ball back to Kana Seshi, the sweeper keeper, but look where he is. He's basically playing like a centre back. That's inverted fullback number 1, Ruggeri. Toloi, now just in front of them, Edison's your register, so he drops deeper, and then you've got centre back 1 and centre back 2, and in front of them you've got your 2 midfielders. Now, in this match I've got them as Carraleros, so they're not going to be as aggressive, so I'm being a bit cautious in this one against Sassuolo. But you look out on the left hand side, there's Lookman stretching the pitch as a false 9. They're in no hurry, so again, it's not full throttle football. They're going to take their time. Lookman's out there stretching it. There's Moranchuk, the other false 9. Scalvini and the other centre-backs are there, so they're playing as holding midfielders, and your inside full-backs come as centre-backs. Moranchuk. Now watch this. Scalvini, centre-back. What you'll find with Liberos is they dribble it. And if there's a gap down there, like he's found down this angle here, he goes for it. You'll see your centre-backs going wide a whole heap of time. He goes wide, finds Scamacca, who blows the chance. And that Scamacca one's actually interesting because the one role in this team on both setups, so that one and this one, the central striker, I can't quite nail. Now, in this version, Sporting, Gayorquez scored a heap, but for some reason Scamacca is just not having it, either version. So maybe he's just not suited to it, but that's definitely a role that you can play around with. So it's half time, and this is probably an indication I've been too cautious. Sassuolo have had no shots, we've had 8, we're dominating. If you look at the passing network, you can see what's what. You can see how wide number 11 Lookman goes, 59 is the other false 9. There's plenty of width there when the pass map's in action. You can see where Kana Seshi is as well, the goalkeeper, starting moves off. So we need to go a bit more aggressive this second half. So that's when I would flip to this version. 2 Mazzalas, Poacher comes in. Let's see if that will work. Already being more aggressive, right? Check this out. There's Edison, a register. Now back to our sweeper keeper. Now we're coming to attack. Instead of being a little bit further back, the Carraleros, they're now basically part of the front line. Look at this. There's the front line now. That's the 2 midfielders and the 3 strikers. You can see the gap. So the central midfielders have now got this gap to fill as well. So Mazzalas bomb straight on. They bomb way farther up, way higher up. So your central midfielders then become central defenders, then become the central midfielders. But look at them using the keeper every time. Back it goes again. He starts the moves off, has a little look. This is the fullback. He's coming forward. There's Lookman out wide. Deep pass cross, and there we take the lead. I don't know, is it onside? It's onside, so that's a false 9 getting in at the back post. By the way, defensive shape, so we haven't got the ball now, so I'll just zoom out a little bit and hold there. You can see the flat back 4 across there. DM, central midfield. So they do go back into that start position quite well, and your false 9s will put pressure on the opposition fullbacks or wide centre-backs. But of course, it's a risky tactic. As this shows, you are bombing bodies forward, and when one of your fullbacks, your inverted fullbacks, goes forward like Toloi has here, it means I'm left with a single man back there, the opposite fullback. So if we lose it here, like the donut does, he's then got basically a 4-on-1 or 2. You've got one of your centre-backs breaking a neck to get back there. But hey, this is the risk we take when we try a funky tactic like this. And thankfully, he bottled the chance. So after 83 minutes, we're dominating possession. We're only 1-0 up, so it's probably at this point where I would switch back to the other version so it's a little bit more solid. And there's your pass map. You can see the amount of times the goalkeeper's getting used, and you can also see how wide the false nines are receiving the ball. I think that's a thing of beauty, that. So I'm currently second with Atalanta. We're in the title race. I've predominantly been using the more negative one, but now I'm going to use a bit of both for the remainder of the season, and we'll see how it goes. There is room to tweak this tactic. Of course there is. If you do use it, this role here, the central striker role, that could be something different. Even perhaps dropping back to a shadow striker, but that's the one role I'm going to look at to try and improve. So there's the tactics, dudes. I'm having a right good time with this. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's something different at the back end of this FM cycle. If you're waiting for the player instructions, they're on the way next.